Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, podcast Pete and lifestyle coach. As a lifestyle coach, you want to design your life. You want to know when the trends are happening. You want to be able to see it before others see what's going on, because when it becomes just common, your opportunity has gone down significantly. And I think if we understand supply and demand, you as a business owner have to always focus on demand. Demand are leads, leads are cash flow, and building thriving school communities will give you a healthy business in 2026. Let me cover a couple of the trends so you can look at where are you? Do you recognize these? Do you not? Is this something you got to lean into and learn more about? Because if you're not educating yourself, you'll miss these opportunities. I see 6 of them. There's more, but 6 that are real common to an entrepreneur. And that is, the first one is digital asset revolution. What do I mean by an asset? This is an asset. Let me give you the difference. An asset versus an activity. Let's say you go to a meeting, you go to a conference, you go to a live event. It starts and it ends. That's an activity you attended. There's nothing been recorded for you. Maybe they recorded the convention, or the trade show. But if you're going to a networking event, it starts and it's over. And that's an activity. An asset is you record a podcast, you write a book, you do a video, you do a workshop, a webinar. Those are assets that are getting planted online, because today the opportunity is global, which the demand goes way up when you're thinking about global opportunity. I always say act local. Certainly you want to act local, but let's look at that sandbox as maybe being the 20%. Average person, 140 people they know, like, and trust. Our brain blocks out everything else, because if it didn't, it would explode, because there's so much information. We have between 12 and 60,000 thoughts that go through our head. If we didn't have a way to block out information, your brain wouldn't be able to function. So it's being familiar with, say, 150, 140, 50 people that you know, like, and trust. So picture this. You're walking on the side of the street. You look over, there's 100 people gathered. You don't recognize but one person, a person you know, like, and trust. They stand out in the crowd because your brain is familiar with them. The rest, just, you don't even see it. Your brain doesn't. So we have about 140 in our local sandbox. We call it that, the 20%. So you have 140 people that know, like, and trust you. Those are the people you could do business with. But what if you switched your mindset? Instead of playing in the 20% where there's 140 people, you're playing in a global sandbox. Now, in that sandbox, there's billions with a B. So this video is on YouTube, it's on Facebook. It can be seen around the world because the world is global now. Information that we record now can be seen around the world. So you have the ability to build your online platform and expose yourself to billions. Now, they have to go through the know, like, and trust journey, like we all do with people we want to do business with. But what if you had millions that are going on that journey? Daniel Priestley says it well. 7-11-4. What does that number mean? It means the brain has to go through 7 hours, 11 buying signals or interest signals, and 4 different platforms. When that happens, your brain just clicks and you know and like and trust that person. So if you have millions of people that are taking in your content, they're making comments, they're showing interest, they're buying your book, they're downloading your podcast, they're attending your webinars, they go to your workshop, they're showing interest in you. You're sleeping, they're digesting you, they're consuming you. Then they see you on 4 different platforms. That brain just switches for that person. Now they know you, they like you, and they trust you. So you have millions that could be going through a journey while you're sleeping. That's the opportunity that you have if you know how to create assets. Okay, next, we have the entrepreneurial revolution. The industrial revolution is gone. Working 40 years for a company, gradually moving up. Even the educational system, sitting in a classroom and just like little robots digesting information. It doesn't work that way anymore. It's changing. The corporate environment's changing. How we learn, where we work, how we work. The gig economy's in full swing. Look at how many people are doing like Uber, Instagram, Instacart, DoorDash, and you can Amazon. They're hustling other opportunities because the app opens up those opportunities. Technology. Now more people are participating in multiple sources of income. It's never been easier to get in business. Still hard to be a creator, still hard to hustle, but that's just the way it is. But the opportunity is there. So you could, if you're working for a company, get a side hustle. Start riding for Uber. I've had many of Uber rides, and I'd always ask them, what else do you do besides Uber? And there's a proliferation of stuff. Oh, I needed money for my new roof, and so I decided to just ride for 90 days. I can pay for cash. I needed some extra money to buy the kids. I needed this, and I just go on when I need money, weekends, nights, different events, but everybody has a different story. So but the opportunity is there. Now, the next one, crypto. And this is a big one because if you've watched inflation since 1930, especially 1971 when we all went off the gold standard, your purchasing power has gone down because they keep printing money. The more supply, less demand. That's why Bitcoin is so perfect. Only 21 million coins. Actually, a few less because people have lost them. But you can't print like we've experienced. People print money like you just flood the money supply. COVID, we increased the money supply by 40%. All that money was given out. It didn't just come out of thin air, or actually it did. It was just printed. Let's just put money in. Well, when you do that, your buying power goes down. Inflation goes up, the hidden tax. That's why Bitcoin's getting so much attention, because there's only a fixed amount, and it halves every 4 years. So the supply goes down, but the demand keeps going up. So it's built to be the purest way you can build wealth and build your buying power. Next, AI. Hey, look, if you haven't been kind of If you're off the grid, maybe never seeing anything, you know that there's an AI revolution. We're able to get things done faster, quicker, and it's moving fast. So if you're not using AI with your business, you're falling behind. So you need to be able to use it to do whatever you need to do. I've had 9 courses. The framework is created in AI. I still do it. I still create it, but the heavy lifting is what goes off my plate. Now I can get done so much more. Whenever I have a question, I just throw it at AI. Gives me an answer where before you'd have to search 2 web pages to find stuff. Now you can find it quickly. And how we're using it, we've only started. Mobile, hey, look, everybody's got a mini computer. Everybody. Not everybody, but billions of people around the world. So they can have access to information right in the palm of their hand. And the personal development trend. Personally, I use Growth Day. To have a community of 300,000 plus people, to have the best coach in the world coach me every single day, to have access to experts on parenting, experts on relationship, experts on financial strategies, financial on anything you can think of, they have it. For a small price, $50 a month, I can continue to up my skills. And people are going to pay you for the skills, the competence that you have. So you want to get more valuable to whatever you're doing, grow your skills, grow your personal development. So if you want to, let's see, hold on here. I want to give you a little information. Hold on here. Let me take this off. Let me put this up. Okay. It's so important that you understand what's happening with the money supply. Increased supply lowers your buying power. It's simple as that. The amount of money that flooded in after COVID or during COVID increased by 40%. That's why you're having a hard time. You're having a hard time because you're thinking of the dollar as not something that has been manipulated, created, and every country does it. We've been doing it pretty good for the last since 1971 when we went off the gold standard, but really in the 1930s. That's why in 1930 the average house was 25,000. Now it's almost 500,000. Did things go up that much? No. The inflation of the dollar happened. The money supply grew. Remember, supply and demand. Too much supply, not enough demand. Now, when you cap the demand, you cap the supply, at 21 million coins, and the demand keeps increasing because they half that every 4 years. Every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that's being created cuts in half. That limits supply, and the demand continues to grow because you have to understand it. It takes some time to understand it. But if you're not interested in learning, you'll miss it. Just like if you're not interested in what is the difference between an asset and an activity, you'll keep running around thinking you got to be everywhere because they tell you got to be everywhere. No, you just have to be somewhere. And somewhere's online where billions of people hang out. You want to play in that sandbox. That's where the opportunity for you lies. So Bitcoin, we'll have more on this, and you can scan this QR code and you'll be able to go to a page where I'll try to simplify it, give you the best resources. I'm always reading about it. I'm always listening to it. I'm educating myself. I'm interested. I want to buy every single month. Just make it part of my strategy. Started, now I'm continuing. So if you go, let me see if I can put something up here. Yes, go to pkane.me. Oops, here we go. And /Bitcoin. Now it's not up yet, but it'll be up before the end of the year. So if you're listening to this in 25, just go to it in 26 and you'll be able to get access. Scan that QR code. Now, as I finish up, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, enjoy the holidays. And if you are not sure of where you're going next year, book a clarity session. Book a clarity session where you can be clear about your future. You got to have a strategy. You have all these trends, 6 of them happening. And if you are interested in learning more, let's talk. It'll ask you a few questions. Then we'll spend 15 to 20 minutes together. I'll give you a couple suggestions. I'd love for you to be a guest on my podcast so I can introduce you to my community. And to do that, let me see. Yes, here we go. Go to pkane.me. Let me share your story with my community. Because the more people that know your story, the better they can connect, the better they can support, the better you can be encouraged to be in a community that helps you. So, be bold, make an impact, and have fun. Merry Christmas.